Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7, and I am back with another guide to help you get 2 million credits as quickly as possible. And as you can see, we are at the new snow rallycross track for this week's 2 million credit guide. And I think this is going to cause probably a lot of pain for a lot of people, because I think some people will be pushing this to quite extreme levels, and it's going to mean that gold is going to be very, very hard to get for a lot of people. I do expect this to be one of the lowest percentage of people to actually get the gold. One good thing though is if you're on a controller, you probably can have quite a nice experience compared to a wheel. One thing I didn't do, which I do recommend if you're on a wheel, is probably changing your degree of rotation to a little bit less so that you can get a bit more rotation into some of the corners and flick it a bit better. I didn't do that. I probably should have done. So to enter, you're going to go into sport mode, click on the online time trial section, and from here you're going to be greeted with two separate time trials. We're doing the new snow one, but if you are looking for the Tokyo one, that is also on the channel, so you can check that out. But you can see at the moment the times are 47.5 for gold. I do actually think that is going to decrease massively, and you can see 49.6 for silver and 54.8 for bronze. I think that's actually going to change to around 46.8 for gold, so you are going to have to get a reasonably solid run in here to get the gold, I think, by the end of the 2 weeks. Now remember, you don't get the credits until the 2 weeks is finished, because obviously the times can dynamically adjust at the top, so it's based on what P1 gets, whether you get the gold or not. So starting your lap, you're going to go flat out over the little jump there, and then going into turn one. Now you're going to look for the little blue line here, the one, not the one before the yellow barrel at the top there, the one just before that. Now I'm braking on that, and I'm going to use that to rotate us in as well, because you're going to get on the brakes, turn down to fourth gear. Now you're going to see I take a much narrower line than what P1 does. A lot of people are going very wide there. I take it a little bit more narrow, then biting on the accelerator quite aggressively, and it actually gives pretty similar results to the line that other people are doing. So it's up to you how you do that corner. There's going to be so many different lines. This one is just basically a little lift off the throttle, because you want to get it rotated into this corner. So you can see I'm going to get a little lift off the throttle just on that end marshal on the right hand side that you saw highlighted, and you want to get the car right up to the wall on the right. And then as soon as you're up the right next to the wall, you're going to actually get on the brakes, a dab of the brakes down to third gear, and rotate it into this left hand corner. Now you want to try not to get too much slip angle on the car. You want to try and keep it very narrow, the slip angle, so that you get a really good pull out of these corners. That is one thing with these rally cars. If you go too much angle, you lose a lot of time. So into this next corner, what you're going to see is I get a little bit too much angle into this. As I get on the brakes nice and early for this corner, you can see very early onto the brakes, and I actually start getting a little bit too much slip angle, and this is going to lose me a bit of time. You can actually see it take effect. So too much drifting. You can see the Ghost pulling away there, and he's actually took a little bit more of a narrow line. Then he's going to accelerate out better because of the line that he's took. But we didn't do it too bad. We managed to rescue it a little bit at the end, and then into this corner, just a little dab of the brakes, because you want to bite it in. So you want to get your left hand tire to just graze over that blue bit of paint on the snow there. So up into third gear very early as soon as you've done that, and just try and power your way out. You saw P1 take a very wide line out of that and actually gained massively. So took a really wide line, carried way more speed, and gained about 3 or 4 attempts just from that one corner. Now for this, as soon as you're at the top of the hill, you can then see the corner. I get on the brakes as soon as I can see the corner, pretty much at the top of the hill, and let that car slide around here all the way through the corner. Don't put too much angle in that sliding, but what you want to do is just get enough so that you can power out of the final apex, and then push on for this left hand corner. Just get the car up right close to the wall, up to fourth gear, and then as soon as you've got the car right next to the wall on the right, onto the brakes, you're going to see I take multiple attempts at the brakes here. So brake, and then a brake again, and now we want the car to rotate, accelerating aggressively in second gear to try and bite it into this apex, which I did quite nice there, and then up to third gear. And what you want to do here is try and, again, flick it into the final corner so you get the rotation. You see how P1 does it there. I'm going to use a little bit of braking input, downshift to second, and then back up to third gear for the exit. You can see there, that helps with rotation. And what you don't want to do is get too much angle in again for that final corner, because you're just going to lose all that momentum going up to the finishing line. So this is a very tricky one this week. There's so many different lines you can take, so many different styles that work, and it's very hard to do a track guide on, to be honest. It's probably better to do it from this view now and show you what we're talking about with the slip angle. So again, going into this corner, you can see I take a much more aggressive slip angle in for the initial turning, and take a tighter line, and then get on that throttle. And I'm playing with the throttle, you can see up and down on that throttle, just to try and bite the tires into the snow. And we actually did that quite nice, and actually pretty much matched P1 in the world. Now into this corner, you can see again up onto the wall almost, and then down to third gear. Let that angle, you can see that angle, it's not too extreme, just a nice angle for that rotation to affect, and carry you through the corner. Again, into these corners up here, you can see as we get on the brakes, just as we come into the corner here, turning right, going onto the yellow barrels, onto the brakes, and then I got a little bit too much angle. You can see what I'm talking about, but I maybe could have got that angle, but a little bit later on in the corner, so I could have powered out of it. And then through here, P1 goes really up high and takes much more speed all the way around there. Definitely the line you need to do, but the safer line is what I did there, a little bit more narrow, getting it up into third gear and powered through. Again, as soon as we're at the top of the hill, onto the brakes, and again, you can see the slip angle. It's just a nice slip angle all the way through the corner. It's not too aggressive. It's not too small, because if you do too small angle, the car will just understeer. Just make sure that you get on the throttle so you can power out of that final part of the apex and then work your way into this final corner chicane, which as soon as you're on the brakes, you want the car to rotate down to second gear, and you really want to be quite aggressive playing with that throttle to try and bite it in to accelerate through the corner. Again, little flick second to third gear there really helps with the rotation. And again, that final corner is really important to get the rotation on, because if you don't get that angle through on acceleration, the car will just understeer. You have to be patient on the throttle. You lose about a second all the way to the finishing line. So the final corner, vital to get a good lap time in here in terms of pushing your way for them 35s. I managed to do a 135.7, which for me, I was happy with. I'm not very into the rallying aspect of this game. It's not really my strongest point, and also I'm not really into the physics of the rally on this game. So yeah, if this has helped you out though, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comment section if you've managed to get gold, if this has helped you get gold, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on this combination for the 2 million credits. I think it's going to be a very hard one, but yeah, I'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone.